Hello students, welcome back to your channel Chemistry Simplified. We are back with another chemistry topic for class 9 today, and that is atoms and molecules, which is another important topic for class 9 students. Okay, so in today's video what we are going to learn is, first of all, what is the laws of chemical combination, then we will discuss about the Dalton's theory and also about atoms and molecules and etc. Okay, so let's begin. Atoms and molecules. Now, in the first two chapters of class 9th, you have already studied about the physical classification of matter and chemical classification of matter. So once the problem of the classification was done, the next question in the scientist's mind was to know what is an atom exactly. And if we go back into the history, there was a philosopher named Maharishi Kannad who believed that matter is padarth in Hindi, and when you keep on dividing that padarth, it gets divided into smaller and smaller particles, and that tiniest particle he called it as परमाणु or atom. I give you an example. जब आप एक पेंसिल यूज करते हैं, ठीक है, जब आप एक पेंसिल यूज़ करते हैं, पेंसिल बिल्कुल बड़ी होती है। जैसे जैसे आप पेंसिल को यूज़ करते जाते हो, पेंसिल क्या होती है, धीरे धीरे बिल्कुल छोटी हो जाती है। एंड आफ्टर अ सर्टेन टाइम व्हाट हैपेंस, दैट पेंसिल बिकम्स सो स्मॉल दैट इट इज़ not possible for us to write with that. Okay, so just like that, when we say that matter, when it is divided into many smaller particles, there comes a time when that cannot be further subdivided, and that smallest unit of matter he named it as parmanu or atom. At the same time, there was a Greek philosopher named Democritus who also said the same thing. He said that the word atom has been derived from the word atomos, which itself means indivisible. Okay, and there was another scientist named Dalton who has also given the Dalton's atomic theory, which we will be discussing in the later half. Okay, so let us begin with our chapter atoms and molecules. The first one is that we will understand what is the law of chemical combination. Laws of chemical combination. Now, these laws of chemical combination were given by the father of chemistry, that is Antonio Lavoisier. Okay, and in this laws of chemical combination, it consists of two laws basically. The first one is law of conservation of mass. First, law of conservation of mass. Now, according to this law, what it says that during a chemical reaction or a chemical process, the mass of the reactant, the total mass of the reactant remains equal to the total mass of the product. That means, suppose I give you an example. Let us take a chemical reaction for the decomposition of calcium carbonate. Suppose I have taken 100 gram of calcium carbonate, and if you decompose it, we will get calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. It will be around 56 gram, and this is 44 gram. Now suppose in this reaction, what is there? If we have taken calcium carbonate 100 gram, so the total mass of the calcium carbonate is 100 gram. When it is decomposed, it breaks down into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. The mass of the calcium oxide is 56 gram and mass of carbon dioxide is 44 gram. So during chemical reaction, the total mass of the reactant, this is the reactant and this is the product. So the total mass of the reactant is equal to the total mass of the product. That means जितना आपने मास reactant आपने लगाया, उतना ही प्रोडक्ट का मास आपको अगर ऑब्टेन हो रहा है, इसका मतलब है इस रिएक्शन के दौरान इसका मास क्या हो रहा है, कंजर्व हो रहा है. Okay, I give you another example. If you take sodium sulfate and barium chloride, okay, in this reaction what we will get? We will get barium sulfate and sodium chloride. In this reaction, what we can see is that only the ions have been exchanged. There is no formation of a new substance. So basically, the law of conservation of mass says that किसी भी रिएक्शन के दौरान जो रिएक्टेंट का मास होता है, जितना आप मास रिएक्टेंट का दे रहे हो उतना ही मास अगर प्रोडक्ट का ऑब्टेन हो रहा है, इसका मतलब ये है कि इसके अंदर मास क्या हो रही है, कंजर्व हो रही है, कोई नई चीज़ नहीं बन रही है, बस यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, रिएक्टेंट का एक्सचेंज हो रहा है. Okay, only the ions are being exchanged. So that is law of conservation of mass. This was the first law. The second law is law of constant proportion. Law of constant proportion, which was given by Joseph Proust. It was given by Joseph Proust in the year around 1779. Now what it says? It says that, the law says that whenever a compound is formed, I'll give the definition in the description, okay? Here I have only explained. So the actual definition, the law will be put up in the description box. So the law of constant proportion was given by Joseph Proust, and according to this law, what it says that whenever a compound is formed, it always contains the same element in the fixed ratio by proportion, fixed ratio in proportion by mass. That means no matter what is the source from which you are preparing the compound, it will always have the same elements in the same ratio by mass. I'll give example. Let us understand with the help of an example. Suppose we have the reaction. I'll explain you with example. Okay, let us take the decomposition of calcium carbonate. Okay, if I want to obtain carbon dioxide, I have the first reaction. I am taking calcium carbonate CaCO3, on decomposing it gives calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. Okay, first reaction. Secondly, when carbon is the combustion of carbon, it gives carbon dioxide. If you react methane with oxygen, it will give you carbon dioxide and water. If a metal carbonate, like for example Na2CO3, when it reacts with an acid, it will give you a carbonate, NaCl plus H2O plus CO2. Another example, if a hydrogen carbonate reacts with an acid, it will give a carbon dioxide. So, what does this mean? I have given you 5 different reactions for the formation of carbon dioxide. So, if carbon dioxide is being formed, it means that whenever carbon dioxide is formed, it will always contain carbon and oxygen atoms. 1 carbon and 2 oxygen atom present in the fixed ratio of 3:8. Here we have carbon, oxygen and oxygen. 1 carbon mass is 12, 2 oxygen, this is 16 and this is 16. That means 12 ratio 32. Okay, and if we simplify, we will get getting 3:8. That means whenever carbon dioxide is formed, it will always have the same elements present in the fixed ratio by mass, no matter what is the source. अब देखो यहाँ पे हमने 5 reactions देखे. 5 reactions से हमें 5 different reactions से carbon dioxide मिल रहा है. कैल्शियम कार्बोनेट का डिकम्पोजिशन से भी मिल रहा है, कार्बन का कंबंशन से भी मिल रहा है, मीथेन के कंबंशन से भी मिल रहा है, सोडियम कार्बोनेट जब एसिड से रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं तभी भी हमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड मिल रहा है, हाइड्रोजन कार्बन की रिएक्शन से भी हमें कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड मिल रहा है. सो वी हैव सो मेनी एंड देयर आर मेनी अदर रिएक्शंस आल्सो फ्रॉम व्हिच वी गेट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. But whenever carbon dioxide is being formed, it will always have the same elements, carbon and oxygen. 1 carbon atom, 2 oxygen atom present in a fixed ratio by mass. Likewise, I give you another example also. यहाँ पे we have 3 reactions, and these 3 reactions, let me the color. We have 3 reactions where water is being formed. Okay, in these 3 reactions, water is also formed. But whenever water is formed, from any source you get the water, it will always have 2 hydrogen atom, 1 oxygen atom. Mass of oxygen is 16, hydrogen is 1 and 1, that is ratio is 2:16, that is 1:8. That means whenever water is being formed, it will always have 2 elements, that is hydrogen and oxygen, present in a fixed ratio 1:8 by mass. So this is what is known as law of constant proportion. So whenever a compound is formed, it will always have the same elements present in a fixed proportion by mass. These are the 2 laws of chemical combination. The first law says that the total mass of the reactant always remains equal to the total mass of the product during a chemical reaction. And the law of constant proportion says that whenever a chemical compound is formed, it will always have the same element present in it in a fixed proportion by mass. Okay, I hope this is clear. So let's move to next thing, that is Dalton's atomic theory. Next topic is Dalton's atomic theory. I will also share some numericals in the next video, most probably. So the next heading is Dalton's atomic theory. Now, many experiments were done, and after the conduction of several experiments, another scientist named John Dalton, he put forward certain postulates. Okay, so Dalton's atomic theory says that the first thing is that atom is the smallest unit of matter. Atom is the smallest unit of matter. Secondly, atom is indivisible. That means it can neither be created nor be destroyed. All the atoms, they are identical. If atoms are identical, that is, they have similar properties. They have similar properties. All like atoms of different, they are of various kinds, they have similar properties. Then atoms combine in fixed whole number ratio. He says that if atoms belong to the same element, they have similar properties, same chemical properties, same atomic masses, etc. If atoms belong to different elements, they will have different properties, different atomic masses, and so on. So there are so many postulates that was put forward by Dalton. And here again, atom is the smallest unit of matter. Atom is indivisible. It can neither be created nor be destroyed. It cannot be further subdivided. He says that atom is indivisible, cannot be further subdivided. Atoms are identical if they belong to the same, like if they belong to the same species, same atoms. If they are identical, they will have same chemical properties, same atomic masses, etc. If they belong to if atoms belong to different elements, they will have different properties. Okay, but there were certain discrepancies into this. Okay, which were later clarified. So what are the drawbacks? Drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. Drawbacks. First drawback. Later on, it was found that atoms is not the smallest unit of matter. Rather, it can further be divided into subatomic particles. After the discovery of electron, proton and neutron, it is found that atoms can further be subdivided into subatomic particles. Atomic particles like electron, proton and neutron. Electron, the negatively charged particle, proton, positive charged particle, and neutron, the neutral particle. Secondly, he said that if atoms belong to the same element, they will have the similar properties. But it was found that there are certain elements which exist as isotopes, which have isotopes, they have different atomic masses, even though they have the same atomic number, and these species were named as the isotopes. I'll give you example. For example, hydrogen has 3 isotopes: protium, deuterium and tritium. It is the same atom of the same element, but they are having same atomic number, but they are having different atomic masses. This is protium with atomic number mass 1, deuterium atomic mass 2 and tritium atomic mass 3. Likewise, chlorine has 2 isotopes. 17 is atomic number, mass is 35.5, 37.5. Another one is carbon 12, carbon 13, carbon 14. So there are so many atoms even. So these special species, atoms belonging to the same element, but they have different atomic masses, and these are known as isotopes. Then he also said that atoms, if they belong to different elements, they will have different properties. But again, there is a discrepancy which was found later, that some elements, for example, argon and calcium, these are 2 different elements, but with atomic number 18 and 20, but they have the same atomic mass, that is 40. So it was found, and these type of species were known as isobars. So this is the discrepancies which were found later, and afterward it was modified as well. Okay, so what did we learn today? We have understood what are the laws of chemical combination, and also what is Dalton's atomic theory, what are the drawbacks of Dalton's atomic theory. In the next video, please do comment if you have understood this or not. In the next video, most probably we will be discussing about the atoms, ions, molecules, what are atoms, what is atomic mass, what are the molecules, and in a separate video I have already taught about the ions, and again, if you want, I'll make a video on the special ions, cations, polyatomic ions, etc., and how to write the chemical formula and calculate molecular mass in the next video. Okay, I hope this video was useful for you. Do like, share and comment, and wait for the next video. Till then, bye bye, have a good day.